Okay, so yesterday, I actually just restarted this recording and I had already done something. So I just had to stop it and start again. Um, Today we're going to do something totally different using this Cursor AI software. We're going to do it completely relevant to something that I know someone is doing, which is she has a little app called Bill Blaster, and she has the ability for the public to easily find state representatives' phone numbers and stuff like that, so they can contact them about bills that they're concerned about. All right. Now I'm not. This is for demonstration purposes only. Okay. I'm just showing you what other people have been doing on the internet for a very long time. Some people have become extremely wealthy doing this sort of thing. It's a grey area. Okay. So there is white hats, black hats, grey hats, and this type of exercise on the internet, depending on how you argue your case, is a grey area. Okay, so the way I'm using it today would be considered, as far as I'm concerned, very light shade of grey, predominantly white, because the information I'm looking at getting very quickly is publicly listed information. It is should be accessible easily for any American citizen um, to be able to contact their state representative or congress member or whatever for concerns they have, right? They're public officers, they're public servants, so you should be able to get in contact with them, right? And you could use potentially Google and government websites to find the information. But the point is, and so those entities, they tend to get quite nasty actually when other people go looking for that information and list that information. So up to you as to why they get a bit nasty about that. But today I'm going to show you how to get all the information real quickly using AI. Okay, so I need the email addresses, phone numbers, office, not home, for every state rep in America, Congress members, Senate members, and their names and their positions and their secretaries. Okay, so that's the only question I've asked, and this was a blank project folder. It's while I was reloading the video to start, I had already run that question, and as you can see, it's actually already started creating all the scripts and stuff. So let me show you pretty easily what this actually is doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a mining exercise to scrape the data out of a bunch of public websites, which will give us AI will organize that information into CSV, SQL, JSON, whatever type of data you want to store it as. And then you can, of course, you can easily convert that data just all within this program, Cursor, right? You can do all of it in here, okay? So um, this AI is blowing everything out of the water because these types of exercises, data collection exercises and stuff like that, are now much easier to do. Okay, there are many things you can do with AI that I'm not going to get into in this video. I might get into them in other videos because I don't consider myself a black hat. Never have done anything black hat. I've certainly walked in some grey areas, but I have always never had an agenda to. Um, I mean, I look at the big companies like Yellow Pages, Google, Facebook, and all that, and I'm like, those guys are disgusting with what they do. So, but anyway, let's get back into this. So this is a grey area, um, and I'm gonna do some extra things with this little app that I'm creating today and the information, so that if people want to, you can do this yourself using Cursor, which I highly recommend you start doing. It's the point of these videos is just to give you some demonstrations of what the software is available of, what the AI is capable of helping you with. But with this data here to help someone along, because I like her a lot, I'm going to probably put this project up publicly so she can actually go and get the files herself once we've finished this exercise. And you'll be able to get them too because they'll be public. So that I haven't looked at anything except I wrote that question and pushed accept, and then I stopped the video because I had to do something and come back, and this is where we're at. I'll help you collect this information. Let me search the best source for this data. Based on my search, I've found several APIs that can help collect this information. Let me create a script to gather all the data you need. Goodness gracious me. Now, the weird thing about this is that normally when you go to scrape information, it starts giving you warnings. Like, oh, you got to have these legal considerations and you have to check the terms and conditions of these websites before you collect their data and stuff. But I can make an assumption that because it's government information, the AI has said, oh, well, sweet as, we can go and get it. If you try and do this for products and personal information for people, you might run into some problems, and you probably should run into problems. You can easily overcome those obstacles, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm not interested in taking people's data and selling privately. Like, that's another issue. But anyway, based on my search, I found several APIs. So APIs are keys, basically, that are keys to databases, right? So I haven't looked at this yet, but I'm assuming there are databases that have access via API keys or tokens, right? So let's have a look here. Import. So what it's done is it's written a Python script over here. Python is very common, um, very common for data mining. So it's already written a script. Here is the website where it found all the information is available here by the looks of it. Now let's create a requirements.txt to ensure all necessary dependencies are installed. So basically, this project, the app, in order to actually open a browser, go to the website, find the information, copy the information, and bring it back here and paste it into a data set. It needs software to do that, so that's what dependencies are. They are basically little bits of software that get downloaded to fulfill tasks. So Beautiful Soup is a common data mining piece of software. Now, normally you wouldn't be able to run this stuff, right? You'd find it very difficult to set this stuff up. But look how easy this is, people, brothers and sisters. So it's created these edits and stuff, and I have to click accept, and now see it has created this text file. So what is happening here is when we run this app to go and get the data, the Python script, when we run the Python script, it's going to basically read the requirements.txt, see that it needs those. It's going to check if we have those installed, and then it will boot those up to go and run the tasks, which is getting the data and bringing it back and putting it into a data set. Okay, so that's what I'm assuming. I haven't really read through the whole thing. I'll also create a README file with instructions. So what it's done is it's created an app that I can put up publicly for people like Grace Chong to use. Okay? And you can also automate this app so that every day or every hour or every week, whatever you set it up for, 3 times a day, whatever, it will keep going back to these data sources where the phone numbers are on that, and checking if they've changed. And if they've changed, it'll bring the changed numbers back, email addresses and that, and update your database for you. Right? It also takes care of duplicate entries and stuff, so you don't have to worry about it double entering any data or anything like that. That's what Beautiful Soup does. There's another couple. So if we don't get the desired result from this first go, I mean, come on, one go, and look what it's done. It's already set this shit up. But if we don't get the desired result, there's another couple of mining programs which are pretty common, which we can switch to using a combination of Beautiful Soup and I forget the name of the other one now, but it's pretty common. So it's also created a README. Now the README has got the instructions so that if someone downloads this from GitHub, public branch into there. You wouldn't even need to have cursor. You could actually run it directly from just VS Code, which is the free code editor, which is industry standard, right? Very cool stuff. So you could just go to the GitHub repository, which we will create at the end of this video, upload this project or the app to that repository, and then I'll show you how to actually download it into your VS Code or Cursor, whichever you're using, and run it on your computer. Okay. So that's what the README instruction is about. So when you do download the app into your Cursor or VS Code, which is also free, I'll show you that quickly in case you didn't watch the other videos. So the Visual Studio Code is open source software. It's industry standard. Most developers use it. It's really, really good software. You'll be able to just download that if you don't want to download Cursor. Cursor is like an extension of VS Code. But you'll be able to download VS Code and literally just download this app. I'll clone the repository into your own Virtual Studio Code and then run it. So I'm going to show you how to run it in a second. Then I'm going to upload this to my GitHub repository, which is a public repository, and then I'll put the links in the description of this video. Actually, I won't be able to put them in the description because YouTube has me blocked on a couple of things at the moment, so I'll put them in the comments if you're interested on getting every single state representative and secretary's phone number and blah blah blah. Right? So let's update the requirements file to include all the necessary dependencies, which I've just explained. Finally, let's update the README to explain all the steps. So what it did was it created these files, and then it realized it needed to add some more information. So it's gone back and edited those files again, which is the README, which is this one here. So this is all the instructions for running the app. So when you download this into your repository, into your local repository, which is what this is, directory, project folder. You simply, if you want to do it manually, you just literally read this and manually follow the steps, right, using the terminal and stuff. Or if you have bothered to actually download Cursor, which I highly recommend, then you can just say, can you please, so you open the folder that you've put this in. So you go File, Open Folder, find the folder that you've put the project in, open it, and it will open it like this. And then you go down here and you go, can you please read the readme.md and run the application, and it'll just run it for you, right? And you'll end up with a file. It'll create a file which will be a data, like a JSON file or a CSV or whatever. And let's look at what it's actually going to download it as. It's going to create a JSON by the looks of it. JSON, yeah. So it's going to create a JSON file, but or it might be XML or whatever. But it doesn't matter. You can convert it. So if you need it as a CSV or whatever, you just simply say to this, can you write a script to convert that to a CSV or whatever, right? It's like that easy. It's just so easy. Developers must watch these kind of videos and hate it. Because can you imagine you'd normally have to write all of that, but I wasn't even looking at the computer and it just wrote it, right? So, here we go. That's already explained it right here. So here's the simple instructions. The main script collects data for all US senators and representatives using the whoismyrepresentative.com API. The get state legislators.py script collects data for state legislators across all 50 states using the Open States API requires an API key. Oh, okay, all right. We might run into a small problem there, but we can get over that obstacle because we've got AI on our side now, mate. The get staff info.py script scrapes staff information, including secretaries from the officials' websites. To use these scripts, install the requirements, run them in sequence, get Congress data, get state legislators py. The output will be several CSV files containing the requested information. The README file Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to do them all separately, but let's just say we want them all in one file. So can you edit the script to create one large, let's say, CSV? I'll say please. I don't know why it's doing this. I have plenty of things left on my account. That's why I stopped the video before, because I went and changed it. But anyway, whatever. That's a me issue. Um, okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to take those three scripts and put them into one. So basically, we'll end up with a larger script similar to this. Get Congress data. Just going to do it in there by the looks of it. I'll modify the scripts to create one large combined CSV file with all the data. Let me edit the main script. Okay, and we can watch it edit the scripts. So what it's doing at the moment is reading the script, seeing how it works, figuring out how to change it, right. So there it made that edit. Right, these are all the states that it's going to collect the information from. And it's going to get the website, the office, the phone, the district, the state, the party, position, and the name. Um, yeah, so I'll be able to turn this into a website, into a phone app. This is Bill Blaster, right? That's what I'm doing here. I'm making Bill Blaster. Now let's update the staff info script to use our combined file. So now it's updating the README. See how amazing it is? Like, that's amazing. It's updating the whole thing to be concurrent with the changes that we just made, including all the instructions and stuff. Okay, so now the result will be a single CSV file, all elected officials.csv, containing all the data you requested, contact information for state representatives, Congress members, Senate members, along with their position secretary. So now I can run that. There's two ways to run it. I could get AI to run it for me in the background, but I'm going to show you how to do it manually using the terminal down here. So I think I'm in command prompt at the moment. So you can install PowerShell, Ubuntu, Git Bash. You can actually use different command terminals in here. So see, I'm already in this directory. So let's just run get congress. Oh, actually, sorry, you have to go Python. Get congress data.py. Bang. Starting data collection. Look at this. That's all it's doing it. It's doing it. Retrieve two senators, two senators, two senators. Are you seeing this? And don't forget, it is collecting their phone numbers, their emails, their office addresses. Look at this. So, I've just created the Bill Blaster app in about 1 minute. Like this video is longer than 1 minute because I talk a lot of stuff to explain stuff. But the reality is, if you've got Cursor downloaded free, after you run out of free prompts, because it gives you some free prompts, quite a few actually, to check it out and test it out, to hook you in. And it's only $20 a month after that, and you get like more than enough usage for your $20, even if you're doing big projects. And yeah, so and of course, once you've finished making an app, if you don't want to pay the monthly subscription anymore, you just cancel the subscription, right? Um, yeah, so I'm going to let it run this mining, and then we will have a look at the CSV when it's completed. So at the moment, it's holding all the information in memory, and it will dump that data into a CSV file once it's finished collecting. Now, if you're doing massive data collection, you do want to tell it to say, you'd say something like, can you edit the script so that after every 200 entries, it dumps that data to the file so that, you know. Okay, so it's saying error. It's got some errors here, but that's all we do with those errors is basically copy paste them back into here. You actually just go like this, right, and then see how it says add to chat. I can add those lines to chat, and then say question mark. I don't even have to ask a question like what's this error about. I'll just type a question mark, and it looks at that for context, and it'll say, oh, we had an error, let me go and check that. So then it'll go and check the data, check the script, and say, oh, it didn't manage to get that because this happened and this happened, and then it'll create a fix for that, and then you run the script again, and you just keep doing it until you get no errors, mate. Okay, that's yeah. um 18 representatives, 14 representatives. See, we're getting a lot of people's data here, man. And of course, if you've got a list of people's email addresses, you can send one email and reach a lot of people pretty quickly. Just saying, just saying, just saying. Demonstration purposes only. You don't want to go sending. You certainly don't want to be trying to sell things to people via emails that you have mined. Let me put it like that. But if you have a concern about policy or bills or something that's going on in your country, I don't see any reason why you're not allowed to send an email out notifying everyone in the government. Like, hey man, what's going on here? Brother, sister, Ilhan Omar, right? And so once this is finished, I can really quickly build a front end for this, which will be the app, right, that you see on your phone. So at the moment, this is just a data collection app to get all the data. Um, and I can use that CSV sheet myself. I can upload it into Google Docs or send an email out with copy paste all the email addresses or whatever. But if you want to make it publicly usable, see, here's the CVs, the CSVs. All right, this is pretty amazing stuff. All right. Now create a front end app for this data with search features and email to options or call options. Now I haven't looked at the data yet. There's a chance I'll open it and there'll be nothing in there, but we'll get there in a second. So now it's created an app. Right, so I'm not going to check this data in the back end. I could just click that and see straight away if it actually got there all the information. I'm assuming it probably did. But what we'll do is we'll create a front end and we'll open it up in here and we'll use the front end. I'll create a simple web-based front end application that allows users to search, view and contact elected officials. Let's start with the HTML, CSS and JavaScript files. Okay, so now I'm creating the front end for Bill Blaster. Alright. So, Grace, all that hard work that you put into building a Bill Blaster, trust me, sister, I know the pain. I know the pain. And I hope this doesn't crush your soul, right? Because here I am, just blasé. I'm just doing this as a demonstration for you as to why you should be doing this, okay? Um, Now let's create the JavaScript file that will handle all functionality. So the JavaScript is basically going to handle all the search queries. So we already had the data and we have a script. Now I could add another feature to this to automatically run that script every day or every week to go and check that, in case the officials have changed or their names have changed or phone numbers have changed or whatever. I could also add election days in here, so everything about your government could be added into this app. When's the next election? What do I need to? And you automate those scripts. So you basically write these little scripts that goes and looks at for the most relevant information about elections, dates, addresses, times, concerns, and then you automate those scripts to run every day. And then you can automate this to email out all of your members. So if you're like the War Room, if you're Grace Chong, you've got all the email addresses of all the War Room posse members, right? So you add all of them in here, and you send them an email every day. One a day is not bad as long as it's a polite, nice email with something useful in it, and your beautiful little face in it. People don't mind getting an email every day from something they're concerned about. And at the moment, obviously, everyone's pretty concerned about the government because Bannon's done a great job of getting everyone all fired up, mate. All right. So the sky is the limit with this. Okay. So your little Bill Blaster app, I'm building that right now, and I've just shown you how to do it for yourself. I'm gonna put this up. I don't know if I can be bothered putting this up publicly. I might as well, but I'll put the links in the comments for you to go and look at it. I'll put the links for the software, which is free, like I said. I'll put the links to the GitHub repository so you can go and collect this for yourself if you don't want to try and create it for yourself. Okay, the interface is intuitive and allows to easily find and contact any elected official. All the contact functionality uses standard web protocols. Mail to for the email links and telephone for the phone links. So if someone opens this on their phone, they can just click the phone number and it'll automatically ring the rep. It's got all that. See? No, I just talk about the stuff like real blasé like man, but it's high value stuff, and Grace knows the pain and the time involved in building this app. Right? Not anymore. Right? So I'm not doing. Look at this. Oh, got all the information. Look at that. Oh. So the phone number's not visible, but you can make them visible, but you don't have to. It's just got a little call button here, right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this app up on Natalie's domain name today. So let's go. Does it have Trump? Probably doesn't have Trump. I don't know how that works. Macy, Nancy. Is she in here? Oh, we have Nancy Pelosi. So it hasn't got all the data, but I've only done one run. So with this data collection stuff, you could say, like now I'll just say something like, I noticed we don't have, what's her name? Nancy Mace, is it? And she's a Senate member? And then what we'll do is we'll add something to that prompt like, is there another source we can add to the script to check for more members etc and combine them with no duplicates. Generally these scripts don't create duplicates, but duplicates are a real pain in the butt, so I tend to just always write that into my instructions, just to be absolutely sure. You're right. Nancy Mace is currently a US representative for South Carolina's 1st District, not a senator. If she's missing from our data, it suggests that our current API source might have gaps. Let's enhance the data collection script to use multiple sources and handle duplicate entries. See? Perfect. You see what I mean? So if you have a problem, you find an error, you just simply work through that problem. And it's always been the essence of web development. You have a problem, you don't have a website. You have a problem, you don't have this page. You have a problem that the website doesn't do this. And so the web developer simply solves those problems for you. And now you don't need a web developer. You have more than just a web developer here, right? See what I mean? So now it's going to update the script and add even more robust data mining to it. So it's probably going to go and look for another source of information as well as the other one that it's already using. And so another website that lists, I see here right, openstate.org people, right? So it's going to add more sources of information. Then it's going to go to those websites. It's going to get all the information. Then it's going to check if it's got duplicates, which it most likely will. And then it's going to erase the duplicates and then just put one entry for each representative into the file. Okay. But you can already see how powerful this is, right? Very powerful stuff. So what we'll do is, while it's doing that, I'm going to show you what I haven't shown you in these videos yet, which is github.com. Now this is pretty important, kind of. So it's all free, right? I have to tell through my phone. I'll do it for you. Dun 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 dun. Oh, why is it not appearing on my phone? Okay, we might not do this today. Is it on my other phone? Must be on my other phone. Oh, my other phone's flat because I never use it. Oh, no, flag it. So, I can actually do this anyway. I I can't log in because my phone's flat, but for this next part that I'm going to do through Cursor, you'll need to sign up on github.com. So GitHub is where the repository is going to be. So the repository is this. It's the project files and folders and stuff, okay? Okay, so the script will now fetch data from all available sources based on which API keys you've provided, automatically merge duplicates, and create a comprehensive data set including Nancy Mace and other officials who might have been missing previously. You can then run the web application. Okay, so it's saying I need an API key. So what API key do I? Now there'll be a way around this, by the way. Okay, I'm just showing you what most people do. You know, they'll think like this, and they'll be like, "Oh, I need an API key." You don't strictly need an API key to run the basic script, but for more comprehensive data, including Nancy Mace and others you might be missing, you'll benefit from this API access. ProPublica Congress API key, what it provides, comprehensive accurate data on all current senators, how to get it, visit ProPublica and request a key. This is the most valuable key for federal officials. Google Civic Information Key, what it provides, additional federal official data. Okay, so, okay, OpenState's API. Okay, so it looks like because it's public information, government information, you can more than likely get these API keys free access. If they're trying to charge you, that's an issue actually, that you should be pushing to government like, hey, why are you charging to have access to public information for public servants, right? That's a very big issue in most countries at the moment, that governments are charging. It might only seem like a little bit per person or a little bit per request, but there's so many requests and so many people requesting information for for DM, what is it in America, the driver licensing place, the driver vehicle licensing registrations, um, phone numbers. There are millions of requests going through per minute, and they're charging like 1 cent per request. Right now, those are government things. Okay, so a lot of people aren't aware of that issue, and that's a big issue actually. So I imagine that whilst you would imagine these API keys are free to use, they're probably actually charging a fee for every time you make a request. And you should be, you know, particularly in the case of Grace Chong with her Bill Blaster app, right? Exactly what I started this video with. Why can't I give people access to representatives' phone numbers and email addresses? It should be publicly listed information. What are you doing charging for it? Which actually brings us back to that Aaron Schwartz issue. He ended up killing himself because the FBI came after him and that, right? The Internet's Own Boy, very good documentary. He was downloading university papers, and it wasn't. It was actually he downloaded all of the court documents for cases and stuff like that, for precedences and stuff, and put them on the internet for anyone to use for free. Okay. And the FBI came after him and hounded him and pounded him, and he ended up killing himself over it. Right, that's the Internet's Own Boy. That's Aaron Schwartz. I highly recommend you watch that documentary because that is what this issue is about publicly accessible information and being charged. So that case was to do with the PACE. I think in America they call it the PACER or PACE, which is where you have to pay to download a court document, right? Um, these are the issues of today that they don't really want people to know about and talk about or understand. But this is the biggest issue actually that we've just walked straight into right here. Okay, so I'm not gonna bother to go and look into that issue right now. But if you care about freedom of information and which relates to freedom of speech and transparency, you absolutely should be going and looking at this and discovering if they're charging for this information per request via the API keys, right? For the sake of today's video, I'm not going to worry about that. What we want to do is just simply look at the app. So let's say I'll get the AI to run the script this time. So run script again to update the data, CSV. Okay, so there might be space in the script, this one here. There'll be a space where I'm supposed to put the API key. But I can't. It's not that I can't be bothered going to get the API key. It's just that that's not what this video is about. But there will be somewhere here. So I just ask it, where do I put the API key? And it'll tell me on line 14 of this file, and I'd go and go get the API key, come back and put the API key in. And then what happens is when you run the script tells the website you're getting the data from, it's like a key to open the database, and it says, oh, okay, you've got a key. This is how, here, have access to the data, right? As you can see, it's running the script again, and it will not duplicate entry. Okay, so that was always a concern of mine. For anyone doing data entry, it's always a nightmare about whether or not it's doing duplicate entries. These dependency softwares, they don't beautiful soup in that. They actually automatically take care of duplicates. But because I actually requested to the developer, to the AI, can you make sure there's no duplicates? it's most likely written into the script a second thing to check for duplicates. So I've probably got two um, parts of the script or the process now checking for duplicates. So Beautiful Soup looks for duplicates when it makes entries into the data set, but also the script itself, I've now asked it to check for duplicates, right? So I'm not verifying that here, I'm not looking in it, but I could. I could ask to say to AI, it's not my app, so I'm just doing this as a demonstration. But if you were writing this for your Bill Blaster, you would probably want to say to it, hey, I really want to make sure I don't have duplicates. And obviously, you're going to know if you have duplicates or not, because when you come on here, um, all these names escape me. Who do we have? Bobert? Does she come up on here? Nah. So, but now that now that it's added more sources to get the data, eventually, like if I just keep doing that, like if it does this, so this is mining again with those extra sources. If it comes back and it still doesn't have Lauren Boebert in there, I would because I mentioned Nancy Mace last time. It's probably found a website that has her listed, and therefore that website has other people listed. So I'm getting a bigger data set this time, but it's still missing some. So, and actually, to be honest with you, I just put Bobert in there, but I hadn't actually let it finish this new scrape. So it might get Bobert on this scrape from where it's getting Nancy Mace from this time, if you see what I mean. But in the front end testing, if I type a name in there and it comes up no result, I mean, look at this app, right? I don't know why it's put 2023 down there, but whatever. This is the one it just built. It literally just built this. Um, so, um, and I can add pages to this app. I can put a link to War Room. It's just like a normal website, right? I can add anything I want to this app. Voting times, and don't forget on this day, if you're in this state, this is happening, and and I can run all of that from here, from this back end. All the updates, all the email campaigns, marketing campaigns, social media campaigns. So I can write it, it's running something at the moment, so I don't really want to interrupt it while it's doing. So, see, I've asked it to do the mining in the chat instead of doing it down here. I could have said, can you do it in the background, and it would have actually run a script up here. So this would be appearing up over here, and then I could carry on developing. But if I type something in there now, it'll interrupt that mining process. So that was a bit of a silly move. I should have said, do it in the background, and then it would have done it in here. The script is running, but it seems like it's paused during output. Let's continue checking if it completed and processed. Um, do it in the background. So something happened, and which gave me the opportunity to do that. And now what it will probably do is it should actually run it in here. Yep, so it's running in the background, right? So it's running the script in here, right? So that means that I can carry on. Yep, so it's running in the background. Let's try running the staff information script with a. You see, what it's doing is it's encountering problems, but instead of just saying, "Oh, sorry about that," it's actually working through the problems for you, right? Oh, look, see, I've got mine set up to automatically open terminals in my system. So that's quite something you want to be a bit careful of. Yours won't do it by default. You have to sort of add some system software, like whatever, to allow cursor AI to open up command prompts and stuff. I won't get into talking about that at the moment, but that's just basically showing you that it has access to my actual PC. Right, so, and it's actually looking through the data too. It seems Nancy Mace is still not on the data. This is likely because none of the API sources we tried had her information, or the Google Civic API didn't pick her up from the South Carolina address we used. Since we identified a specific missing representative, let's manually add her to the data. So it's manually going and getting her information. And I'm not even asking it to, right? But like I keep saying, I have given this agent extra permissions. Okay, so um, if yours is saying, "Oh, I can't do this and I can't do that," then you just have to start asking it some pretty brutal questions. You know, like, why can't you do this? What do I have to change? Da, da, da. Can you write a script to do this? What do I need to change in my PC? It'll pretty quickly tell you. You know, oh, you'll have to do this and open command prompt, type this in, and da da da. So it's running command prompt, but it's not actually doing anything by the looks of it. But I don't care. Okay, so anyway, let's just stop it because I'm not really interested in concerning myself with that. But if you were building the app for real, I mean, it is a real app. I mean, here it is, right? It's just missing a few names, that's all. All right. Oh, there's my Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut. Kenneth from Connecticut, you little bitch. But yeah, so I'm not interested really in finishing this as far as getting the names and that. But I've explained to you how to get more names. You just keep telling it, I'm still not getting this name. Can you check for other places to find this information and da da da. Anyway, let's add. Can I add? Oh, I'm not even going to worry about that. Am I? Am I? Nah, not in this video. Oh, just can we make the app more user friendly? Very beautiful with some links to warroom.org pages with their info in the pages and pink. Because, Natalie likes pink, right? So now what it'll do is it will most likely turn this into more of a website with a burger menu and stuff on your phone, right? And it'll have the search for your rep, right? Um, I just showed you how to go and get the data for all the state reps and stuff like that. You can do that with any type of data. So I could go to warroom.org and get all of the articles, right? I could go to rumble.com and get all of the video links, titles, and everything, and then embed those videos into this app, right? So that stuff that is normally complicated, high value, pricey web application stuff to get made, I'm showing you how to do it here for basically free in minutes. Alright? That's what this is about. So I make it sound like yeah in these videos, but look at this shit. I'm telling you, man, I used to work for web companies, mate. And this is worth a lot of money. But why would you get a web developer to do this for you when they need to sit with you and ask all these questions anyway, and they're going to come back and they won't have it completely right, and then they have to make changes, and then they start charging you more money for more changes, and I know how the industry works, right? It's disgusting. So why would you do that when you can now sit here with your own consultant, your own highly skilled developer? It's a market researcher. It will go and get all the data. Right, so if you're concerned about legalities and stuff, I could go and get all the War Room's data, and instead of just copy pasting all their data and all their articles and everything, I can get GPT down here to rewrite it all and make it funny. So can you please go through all these articles and add hilarity to them? and also find relevant images to the main keywords in the articles, and it'll go and get me images and bring them back and put them into the pages. And if I want to, I can use I can add an image creator to this so that it generates funny images, right, or videos. There's something I was actually going to do a video on something else today about how to make videos very quickly for YouTube and that. Right, I might do another video on that very shortly, actually, like today, because it's just about having an idea, right, and understanding that AI can help you fulfill that idea. Um, Sometimes when you first start, it can be a bit difficult because you don't know how to ask the right questions the right way. But you'll very quickly learn, like, oh, that's called that, and I need to use that word for that, the terminology for the industry. And even when you're not that good at it, AI is pretty good at understanding what you're trying to say. But what you want to do is read it, right? So you read it and you start to learn, oh, that's actually called that. No, that's a web server. And oh, I'm running a web server on my computer now. Oh, wow, I didn't know you could do that. And, you know, so what we're finding out here is, so it's created a CSS sheet, the style sheet, and the color will be pink. All right, let's go find the color codes. Pink. These are the color codes. Cards. So it's got. Oh, so now what it's done. Oh, there's the table that I was giving Natalie shit about on her website yesterday. It's created a table for me. Yay. Um, let's go and have a look at what it's done. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. It's pink. Visit War Room. Look at that. Oh, it's a link to War Room. And now in the analytic reports, they'll see that there was a visit to their website from a local server. Excuse me. Blame that on my cat. Just joking. Right, so look at this. America's Voice. It's even put a link to that page, right? See what I mean? See what I mean? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of this, use it as the video card, and put this on YouTube. And then I'm going to take the piss out of Grace and Natalie on X, like I always do, and they'll see this pink screenshot, and I'm going to tag Bill Blaster and Grace and Natalie Winters. And love you, girls. You're awesome. Keep up the good work.